This video is to show you the step-by-step layout to show where we are going to drill the holes into this, the Candyman or the gumball machine body. Okay, this is the finished product. This is this body section. A couple things. These are two 2x4s that I had the students glue together. I talked to them about grain orientation. I talked to them about knots, about clear surfaces. I also talked to them about pine beetle. Okay. When we lay this out, I'd like the students to do it as a group activity, so the teacher would instruct them step by step and work through it. Work through every step as all the students complete it. Otherwise, I find the students don't do it accurately and it turns into a bit of a mess. As students get ahead, if they have done it correctly, if they could help their peers. So, the first thing we need to do, we need to take this, a ruler. We are going to find the center of this block, okay, on the top. The easiest way to do that is to take the ruler, line it up from corner to corner, and draw a line. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing but on the other side. That finds the exact center of this block. Okay, that's where we are going to drill this hole right here for the gumballs to fall into. Okay, so this is step one. Once you have the students finish this step, what we need to do is we need to draw a line towards the face. Okay. The best way to determine where the face is would be the side of your block that is clear, so it has no knots, okay? This side being clear, there's no major knots on this side. This side has knots. So this would be the back, this would be the face, okay? That makes it so it's easier for us to drill. If there's a big knot right here and we had to drill the hole for this, we're going to be chewing through a knot. Knots are end grain. End grain is harder than face grain. Okay, so that's why we try to find a side that is clear. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this here. It's called a tri-square. This one you could also use. It's called a carpenter square. We're going to take this flat edge and we're going to put it against the back of our Candyman. Okay. When we use a tri-square, we want to have as much of this surface touching the edge as possible. You could use it this way, but there's about an inch touching and it's not a good connection. Okay, so we want to have the largest surface possible. So what I do is I line the ruler edge up to the center of this X, and then I'm going to draw a line going forward. Okay. Once I get that line forward, I just take my eyes, I look at it directly this way, and I make that line go onto the face. Okay, so you can see it goes onto the face. Then I once again take my square. This time I'm going to draw a line straight down the face. Okay, that is the center of our Candyman. At this point, I need to draw the intersecting line for the nose hole as well as the mouth hole. The nose hole is 2 inches from the top down. So I could take my square or my ruler and I can count 1 inch, 2 inches. Okay, I'm going to make a little mark like that showing where it is, and then I can take my square and I can draw that line across like that. The mouth hole is 1.5 inches from the bottom, or sorry, 1 1/8 inches from the bottom up. So I can measure up and then I can mark that. You could also use this here, the carpenter square. Okay, the only difference is when you go to use this, you want to tilt this bottom down so it's locking onto the base of the block. Okay, so I would go up 1 inch and then 1/8. Okay, most of the rulers I have in my shop, if you go past the 4-inch mark, all the increments on the ruler is set to 1/8 of an inch. So on the carpenter square or on the tri-square, all the increments are 1/8 of an inch. They don't have any other denominations. So I could go up 1 inch and then to the next mark, draw my line, take my square, making sure I have the most surface connected as possible, and I can draw a line across. Okay, This one is going to be for the nose, this one's going to be for the mouth. Lots of times I will have the students put an N here, okay, and an M here. Because otherwise they're going to go over to the machine and they're going to drill the nose hole below the mouth hole. Okay, so now what I do is I look at the sides of the block, and just like we did from the top, and I mark that little mark, we go to the sides, I take a look down, and I extend these lines, and I do that to both sides. Really, we only have to do one side, but I don't tell the students that, because chances are they'll all do the wrong side. So, I extend it to both sides, I take my ruler, my square, and I put it nice and flat on that edge, and I'm only going to extend the nose one all the way back. Just like that. I'm going to do that on both sides. Okay, extend the nose one all the way back. At this point, I can take either my ruler or the square again, and I'm going to draw a line from the face back to the back of the nose. Okay, so from the mouth to the back of the nose. So I line up the two marks I've made using the ruler. I can connect them. That is the gumball machine layout, okay? The reason why we do this hole is when I set it into the drill press to drill it, I stand that, or the reason why we draw this line, when I put this into the drill press to drill it, I stand this up so that line is going vertical, and then I can drill straight down, okay? There it is there. It takes me like a minute to do one, however it takes my students almost the entire hour, some classes, depending on how much they talk. So there it is. That's the layout. Pretty simple. Once they're done, have the students take a felt marker or a pen and write their name on the bottom, okay, with felt or pen, not with pencil, because just to keep everyone honest, I like to have the names written in a method that you can't just take off or sand off, so no one's going to take this block from another student. Okay.